Hey guys, Mega Mashers here, and in this video I'm going to be covering the 6th generation grass starter Pokemon known as Chesnaught. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to analyze this beast. So here he is, guys, Chesnaught. Pretty sweet, eh? So the first thing we're looking at is its typing, that being grass and fighting, which is a very unique typing that only two other Pokemon have, that being Breloom and Virizion. And for the most part, it's not bad, but it's not good either because you have a gaping weakness to flying type moves, that being 4 times super effective. So Gale Wing's Talonflame pretty much poops all over Chesnaught. Um, you also have a weakness to Poison, Fire, Psychic, Ice, and Fairy. Now, you do have some key resistances, that being to Ground, Rock, Water, Grass, Electric, and Dark. So for the most part, you wall out quite a bit of the Pokemon that you will be facing in competitive play, whether you be in the overused tier or if you're going to be playing in the underused tier, because Chesnaught is underused, but it is very, very viable in OU. And if you guys aren't familiar with the tiers, then I'll leave a link in the description below to Smogon.com. They are a great competitive site, and they open up a lot of possibilities for the way that Pokemon can be used. The next thing we're going to be looking at are its abilities. Now, Chesnaught being a grass starter, it gets the standard grass starter ability, that being Overgrow. And what Overgrow does is if you are at below 33% of your health, then your grass type moves get a 50% boost in its power, which isn't all that bad, but it pales in comparison to its hidden ability known as Bulletproof, and Bulletproof grants you immunities to a wide range of moves, including a very common move known as Sludge Bomb, which happens to be one of its weaknesses. So that's actually pretty cool. I'll leave a link in the description below describing more of that ability, because there is a long list of moves here that it completely is immune to, and it would take way too long for me to list off and just explain it. The next thing we're going to be going to would be its stats. Now let's have a look here. It has 88 HP, 107 attack, 122 defense, 74 special attack, 75 special defense, and 64 speed. So, all in all, it's not really that bad offensively and especially defensively either. In fact, its physical defense is actually quite terrifying. And if you want to turn this guy into a physically defensive tank, he will do the job for you very well. Like, you will be walling things for days, and it is just absolutely epic. Um, and even without any investment into its base 107 attack, it still hits pretty hard. Uh, but yes, that's basically all I have for this section of the video. I'm going to get into some set ideas for you, so stay tuned. So this right here happens to be my absolute favorite set to use on this guy. It's very simple but very effective, let me tell you. The nature that we're going to be using is Impish, which increases your physical defense and lowers your special attack. We won't be needing our special attack, so this isn't going to hurt us any. In fact, it's going to be helping us. The item for choice, you can either go with Leftovers for passive recovery at the end of each turn, or you can go with Rocky Helmet, which acts as a better version of Iron Barbs or Rough Skin, which means that your opponent will be taking away its own health every time it makes contact with you. 1/6 of your health to be exact, so that's pretty annoying if you're facing off against one of these. As for the EV spread, we're going to be going full defensive, and we're going to be giving it 252 HP, 252 defense, and 400 speed, just to give you that one more speed point. As for the moveset, Drain Punch is, oh man, it is such a good move on this guy. The Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire move tutors gave this guy this move. It just became that much better. Because rather than relying on Spiky Shield, which I'll describe in just a moment, Drain Punch, for every time you damage your opponent, half of the damage inflicted goes right back to you for health recovery. So upon Leech Seed damage, Spiky Shield stalling, oh man, this guy's going to be very hard to take down. The next move that we're going to be using is known as Spiky Shield, which is a better version of Protect. What this acts as is, again, it's like iron barbs or rough skin. Um, Not only does it protect you, but should your opponent make any physical contact with you, it damages the opponent by an eighth. So you rack up that damage along with Rocky Helmet damage, your opponent's going to be wore down pretty quickly. Oh, and did I mention it gets Leech Seed too, which is its next move. So with that passive damage happening, your opponent's not going to be lasting too much longer in battle. So if you want to take this guy down, you better take it down with a super effective move, namely flying types. And the last move that I'm going to be giving it is known as Spikes, which is a solid move to give this guy because since this guy is very bulky and very hard to take down, why not set up some entry hazards while you're at it, therefore putting pressure on your opponents when it comes to whether or not they want to switch out and take damage or whatever. That's basically all I have for this set. I'm going to show you another set to use for this guy, so stay tuned. So with this next set here, your role goes from being a full-on physically defensive Pokemon to being more or less a mixed defensive Pokemon, which is pretty good in a different way, because it allows you to take hits from both the physical and the special side. The nature that we're going to be using is a careful nature, which lowers your special attack and increases your special defense. The item for choice, the same thing as last time. You want leftovers for passive recovery, or you want Rocky Helmet for passive damage should your opponent make physical contact with you for one of their moves. The EV spread, we're going to go 252 into its HP, 252 into its special defense, and 4 into speed, just to give you some all-around mixed bulk. As for the move set, we're going to be using Drain Punch because what better than Drain Punch? I mean, it's not only a reliable physical move and complemented with stab, but it also has the ability to recover your HP for every time you cause damage to your opponent. Spiky Shield is pretty much the crux of this Pokemon and this set, which allows a turn to protect yourself and stall out for any Leech Seed or Leftovers recovery, and also presenting the ability for your opponent to damage itself should it make physical contact with you. Leech Seed for passive recovery and to slowly whittle down your opponent, and Spikes just to be that much more of an annoying little bastard on the field by setting up entry hazards all over your opponent's face. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video of Chesnaught. Chesnaught is a very, very good Pokemon to use in battle. It has never let me down, and I highly recommend using it. Now, as for things like how to use it and how to build a team around it, I'll be doing those sort of videos in a later series. Right now, I'm just covering the basics, things like analyzing Pokemon, giving some set ideas, things like that. But as for the team building, those will come in later on down the road. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and feel free to leave a comment, rate, and subscribe if you want to see more. That's all for right now. Have a good day.